Hey Yusuf, how you going, mate? I know it's been a couple of months since your last profile review, but I thought, as you requested another one. Generally, I don't give multiple profile reviews, but I thought because you're kind of in that position where you're not too sure which role to play, I thought I'd kind of revisit your account and talk you through what I think is the best steps for you moving forward, Yusuf. So let's kind of get into it. So, good thing is, last time I reviewed your account, you were Silver 3, and now you're Silver 2. You had a 47% win ratio, and now you got a 48%. So, you've definitely improved a little bit. And I think the main reason why you haven't improved probably as much as you're wanting, because I remember your goal was to get to Plat by the end of this season. However, there's only a month, I think just over a month left in this season, so you might not hit that this season, but you're definitely going to be able to hit it next season, as long as you take on my recommendations and kind of keep doing what you're best at. And I'm going to get into that in a second, but what I wanted to say is, my first one is, you need to play more ranked games. So you've only played 240, just under that, ranked games this season, and I don't know if you're limited by time or you get nervous playing solo queue, so you play a lot of, flex queue or normal games instead. But I think you as a player, you have kind of the champion pool and the knowledge now. You've been playing for pretty much 2 seasons now once you finish this season. You've been playing for 2 seasons now, and you really shouldn't be playing normals unless you're using them to play with friends or to de-tilt. You should really just be immersing yourself fully in ranked solo queue and getting comfortable with playing ranked, because the more you play it, the more comfortable you get there. And you are climbing in it, so I don't think you need to worry about going backwards, because you're definitely a better player than a Silver 2 player. You just need to play more ranked games so the algorithm actually understands, okay, this guy is actually a really good jungler, really good mid laner, etc., etc. And you just need to get League to understand that, and that's when you're going to be climbing, and that's why you've already climbed from Silver 3 to Silver 2. I think it was probably in about 40 games or so. So, my next one is, obviously, and it's your problem, what role should you play? And looking at your stats, just at a glance, jungle, you don't have to pick one role, so I think climbing, the best way to climb is to pick 2 roles and then use those and interchange those. So if you get bored of jungle, or you feel like, I'm kind of inting in jungle at the moment, okay, I'm just going to go to my mid lane, or I'm going to go play my support roles. Use the 2 roles as like interchangeable. So understand, Yusuf, that, okay, if I'm playing, some bad jungle, okay, I'll just play mid. So I don't think you need to pick a particular role to climb. I think your main issue with climbing is you need to play more games, and playing more games as both those roles is fine. Let's say you do want to pick a role, though, and you don't want to, go for 2 roles. I think right now your jungle is looking quite good. I mean, you've got a 68% win ratio on Lee Sin over 31 games. So that's your most played champion, and it's clear that you enjoy playing it, and he's a jungler. And, a 68% win ratio compared to having a 48% win ratio. So you've got a 20% win ratio between your most played champion and your overall win ratio, which makes me immediately think, okay, if you're serious about climbing, Yusuf, you need to start playing the champions that have the highest win ratios, and that you have the highest win ratios on, and not necessarily concern yourself too much with which role I should be playing, but rather ask yourself, what champions am I playing the best at in this meta, in this moment, in Silver 2, and that's how you're going to climb into Plat. So, going down your top 7 champions. Your best champions at the moment for you to climb: Lee Sin, 68% win ratio. Beautiful. Kha'Zix, 50% win ratio. Still higher than your current win ratio. Veigar, 55% win ratio. Perfect. Jax, 56% win ratio. Leona, 88% win ratio. Obviously, you've only played 8 games on Leona and 9 on Jax, but when you have these kind of win ratios, it means you're doing something right on those champions, Yusuf, and I want you to kind of abuse that. I want you to focus on those champions that you're doing best at and chuck the other ones away. So don't worry about your Morgana. Don't worry about your Amumu. because you just don't have the stats to show that you're good enough on those champions. And when you want to climb, you need to be playing the champions that you're best at, Yusuf. So that's what I think. With that question of which role you should play, I don't really think you should be asking that question. I think you should just be asking which champion should I be playing and which champion shouldn't I be playing. And obviously you can come up with that on your own, or you can use what I kind of just told you there, Yusuf. So that's kind of all I really need to tell you. I think that's really going to help you. You just need to play the champions that you're good at. If you want more advice, the next stage is, I recommended it earlier in your last profile review, but try and do one VOD review a week on your own. If you're comfortable with that, just start off with one on your own. Do those games where it was a really frustrating loss, or you weren't too sure why you lost, or you got out jungled or out laned and you're not too sure why. Review a game like that once a week, and you're immediately going to notice, okay, these are the things I'm doing really well, these are the things I'm doing really poorly, and these are the things I could improve on. The second one is, when you're Silver 2 and you're wanting to climb to Plat, obviously that's a big climb, and so it's very hard to do that naturally. But if you are interested in kind of taking your climbing to the next level, I am going to show you a quick little video of what I'm currently offering players like you, and I think it's a really good stage for you if you're ready to take that next step. So I'm going to put that video on now, Yusuf, and I hope you enjoy it. And then once you've watched that, please feel free to reply to me either via Instagram or by this email once you get this, mate. So cheers, good luck on the Rift, and please let me know what your thoughts are after you've watched all this. Thanks, Yusuf. If you're serious about climbing, you need to get my climbing action plan. So I'm just going to quickly take you through it, because I think you as a player will really benefit from this, and it will really help you achieve that goal that you want to get to. So I've actually got one up now that I've created for a previous client who's still with me at the moment, and his goal, is currently going from Silver 4 to Diamond, playing 30 games a week. So this first page is just a brief overview, and what I do here is I really just get an understanding of the person, what their rank is, what their goal rank is, how many games they play a week, so we can then understand, okay, what kind of monthly goals can we set given how many games you play. So let's say you played 5 games a week. We'd change kind of the goals to be a lot more modest or moderate, so that you could more easily hit them with the limited number of games you play. So I'm going to go into the kind of second step of the climbing action plan. This is kind of one of the most crucial, and this is where my coaching really comes into play, and my expertise. And this is kind of the golden area for where you're going to start improving as a player. So this one, I've done it for a client, YaiderYST. That's my name, that's his name, and these are his current goals. So I actually set goals initially for him, but he ended up kind of smashing them. So I actually can readjust goals midway through the month. I usually update them monthly. However, for John, I actually updated them because he was on track to already beat them. So I thought, let's kind of up him, let's challenge him a little bit more. And that's kind of what my climbing action plan does. I'm there to challenge you, to push yourself in League of Legends, and to kind of make you play better and understand your true potential as a player, and then climb to the rank you want to be. So basic stats that we track: creep score, your overall rank, KDA, kill participation, your champion ranks in whatever region you play in, and then your win ratios. So for here, we've got your current goal, then we've got your goal for the month, and then we've got your overall goal. And I set these all for you. I make sure that you're okay with them, and then we start diving into it. You start playing games, and we start tracking your ranks and getting you to that rank that you really want to be at and that you deserve to be at as a player. So these are all pretty straightforward. However, I calculate these through a series of sites such as op.gg, skillcapped, and some other ones, and I compile all their data because some of them are inaccurate, and so I compile all their data, find your averages, and then create your goals. So you don't have to do any work here. This is all done by me, and this is kind of your goal setting. So open this up whenever you're playing League and just go, okay, these are my goals. Let's jump into queue and let's go get some wins. The third section is now where you come into play. So this is all about you as a player, tracking your stats, understanding your stats, being accountable for how you play, and understanding what you've done wrong, what you've done well, what you could have done better, and how you can improve for the next game, because that's the whole idea of the climbing action plan, is to get you playing to your very best. And that's what we want, that's what I want, that's what you want, and that's what the climbing action plan does. So for here, we've got an example here. You put the date of the game played, the game duration, champion played, whether it was a win or a loss, kill, death, and assist, and then these green, red, and yellows all correlate to whether you've hit the goal, which is yellow, or if you've got an even, that's yellow. If you've beaten the goal, that's green. And then if you haven't beaten the goal, that's red. And so those color codes are based on your stats in this column, in this previous section. And then we go back to the post-game analysis section, and this is now where you input your data. So here, this row is automatically calculated based on your kills, deaths, and assists. And while you can get a server, you can get sites such as op.gg that automate this, the point of the climbing action plan is for you not to be automated, but it's for you to understand every single game you play and understand, okay, this is how many deaths I got, this is how many kills I got. And you'll start to understand, okay, wow, I actually keep dying a lot. When you just look at op.gg or a site such as that, you generally start to find out, or you become numb to your stats. You kind of just look at your overall macro stats and don't actually look at your individual game stats and understand each game is just as important as the other. And so that's what the climbing action plan and that's what the post-game analysis section particularly does. So then you fill out that, and then here is the subjective analysis. So this, you can fill this section out, the objective analysis section, columns A to L, once a week, after every game. I usually recommend players do it after every game because it helps you de-tilt, and it helps you kind of understand, okay, I played really well that game, but what did I actually do that was really good? Or, I didn't feel like I played that well, but then you actually look at your stats and you go, wow, okay, I actually played really well this game. I was in 60% kill participation, or, etc., etc. I got my highest CS per minute I've ever gotten. So then the subjective analysis section, this is where you need to kind of do this after every game. So column M and N is where you have to fill it out after every game. Unless you've got a really good memory, I recommend doing it after every game you play. So you list 3 things you did well that game, 3 things you did poorly, and then at the end of every month, I actually go through each game and I give you some tips based on what your kind of subjective analysis was, but also what your objective analysis was. And that's kind of the key difference, that's kind of the unique thing of this service, is no one else is actually caring about your rank this much at the moment. There's no other coaches kind of doing what this does, and so that's why I think it's such kind of a beneficial thing, and that's why I love doing it, and that's why I'm kind of showing you it, because I think if you are serious about climbing, this is kind of the next step. So that's the post-game analysis section, and then I have the death tracker section. So this is really good, and I highly recommend this for players who generally have a really high death average. However, it's also really good if you're looking to reduce your deaths. It's not an essential component of the climbing action plan, but it will be included in yours because I think it's actually vital. I use this myself. I actually have my own climbing action plan that I use to help me climb on my main account, but also on my Smurf accounts and on my YouTube channel account. So this is really cool. So this is kind of one of my favorite sections, and what I recommend you do is every game you get a notepad and a pen, and every time you die, write down what the death number was and why you died. So literally, paper, pen, write down, game 1, I died for this, I overextended without vision or knowledge of the enemy jungle. Number 2 death, and do these during your respawn timers. You've got plenty of time to write these down, and what it's going to do is you're going to start understanding after 5, 10, 20 games, okay, wow, I keep dying from counter invades, or I keep dying from ganks at level 2, and you're going to start understanding, okay, these are the areas that I keep dying in. How can I stop it? And so not only do you go, how can we stop it? I also go, this is how you can stop this. This is how you can stop yourself dying that way. This is how you can stop yourself dying this way. And that's kind of why the death tracker is so great. And so use a notepad, and then after the end of every game, check your notepad and then fill out the stats. Fill out your deaths per game. Here. So how much does this bad boy cost? So right now, this is only $5.99 USD a month. So that's US dollars. Super cheap. I think that's just under €6. And yeah, so a really good price here. That's an ongoing fee. And what you're getting for just $6.99 is actually incredible. So I think you're really going to benefit from this. If you are serious about climbing, I do highly recommend that you get this, and I hope to hear from you soon. So cheers, good luck on the Rift. If you need to contact me, just hit me up on email at lolcoach.academy, or just hit me up on Instagram or Facebook at lolcoach.academy. So cheers and good luck on the Rift.